Come here, you. Listen, look where we are. We're at GOB Retail. It's the largest comic store in Michigan. I missed it before, but we're here now, okay? We're here now. We're here at GOB Retail in Clawson. All right, we're here. Let's go. Here it is, folks. I finally went to the last comic shop in Michigan, Guild of Blades in Clawson. I was back for my wedding, so I stopped at exactly one comic shop so that my conscience could finally be clear. People kept telling me that this was the largest comic shop in Michigan, and the owner told me that that specifically only applies to shops that are both comics and games, but I did not get exact square footage numbers, so I have nothing else to say about that. The shop entrance had a bunch of kids' books and popular graphic novels and toys, great for getting someone hyped up about the shop as they walk in. Right next to the entrance was a hallway of statues and games, mostly stuff that I'm not really interested in. They had a couple boxes of discounted trades, most of which a little less than half off. There was also a massive gaming room at this end of the shop, which had a giant blackboard for all the events coming up and these super cozy couches. So comfortable. The main floor of the shop was this wide open room full of comics and games. We looked at a section with some wall books and vintage toys first. The prices on these books were very apparent and pretty reasonable. The wall books were not in short supply, as they took up a ton of real estate on this side of the shop. There were some really good deals up there and countless cool covers. I know it's not in the best condition, and I don't care. I finally bought issue 1 of Micronauts for $16 instead of $100, which is what some morons are trying to sell it for. And then there were even more wall books in this display case. Some of these didn't have obvious prices, but after I asked, I found out that the prices were pretty normal. These issues that are labeled have good prices as well. Then they had a section of comic bundles, mostly complete miniseries. Another section had bundles as well as omnibuses, I'm assuming new editions. The omnibuses spread over to this section of the counter right next to the new issues of the week. This section looks small, but they've packed a lot of variety in there. And this footage was taken on a Friday in the evening. And that brought us to the main comic section, which took up a good quarter of the shop. The graphic novel section was huge and was separated by publisher. In the Marvel section, there was a variety of newer books, older printings like Essentials, and some Marvel graphic novels. My cameraman was feeling a bit hyper apparently, so I don't have any close-ups. Under the graphic novels were a good few dozen boxes of back issues, and then on the other side of the aisle was the bulk of the back issue stock. These were sorted and labeled by series, all nicely bagged and boarded, and had the prices on the front cover. Most of these issues of Avengers from the early 80s were around $5 each. Then I moved over to X-Men, where most of these issues were $6, though some got as low as $3.50 or $3. They didn't have issue 223, but it probably would have been $4 or $5. Also in this corner of the shop was a nice section of trades and even more wall books up above. The inventory in this corner was honestly a little intimidating. I knew that I wouldn't be able to capture every detail. This bookshelf of DC trades and hardcovers had some discounted books priced as marked. There was a hallway with all the recent Marvel issues as well as recent DC issues and more bundles. I wish that I had better footage to show you of all the great hardcovers, including used books that were available. Then we came to a section of recent indie issues where my camera guy refused to chill. I found a couple boxes of dollar books, mostly pretty garbage issues. Then there was a hallway with more indie back issues, but there was some weirdo in the shot. Another quarter of the shop was board games with tons of options. And I do mean tons of options. Honestly, I feel like my footage does Guild of Blades a disservice. They had tons of great stuff and the organization made more sense than this overview makes it look. Maybe I was just out of practice when we filmed this. And I know that I'm constantly poking fun at my camera guys, but I want to make it very clear, filming for me is very demanding. It requires a ton of attention, and I really appreciate everybody who's ever held a camera for me. But I am mostly relying on whatever friends or family members are near to me when I film these things, so the range of skill when it comes to holding a camera is pretty wide. And it doesn't help that whatever my stupid iPhone thinks is helpful to the average person taking a video is actually not helpful. Basically, all of the footage for this shop was blurry, and I don't blame my camera guy, I blame the whack settings on my whack phone. I did my best to adjust them so that my footage for the next state, which is already in progress, looks a lot better. And I'm making sure my camera guys don't have too much caffeine before filming. So that brings us to the rating. They earned 4 points in community involvement, 7 points in back issues, 2 points in new issues, 2 points in bargain section, 0 points in the wow factor, and 4 points in organization. That That brings Gilded Blades to a total score of 19 out of 30 points. Pretty solid, lots of comics. Well, I hope this means that I won't get any more death threats about missing shops in Michigan. I'm trying to be more regular with my posting, but a lot of the videos I'm working on right now require a lot of work. And like I said, I'm already working on my next state. So stay tuned, like and subscribe or else, and keep supporting your local comic shop. I'm Kurt Williams, and you are probably somebody else.